Hello. Hi, my name is Michelle. I'm usually the one you guys are speaking to on the Cedreo support chat. So today I'm here to show you how to create roofs that are not collapsed. So I know sometimes people, they send me a message saying that I'm doing everything that I can, but for some reason my roof has collapsed, or I also get my roof is floating. What do I do? So I'm just kind of here to show you guys how to correct that. And this is usually the suggested way to create a roof in Cedreo, just because it allows you to make any kind of a lot of different edits without it affecting the walls of your house or something like that. So let's kind of start to go over to the planner. All right, and if anyone has any questions in the meantime, you can also always send a message in the chat, and I can look at it and help you out. If I need to show you something, I can do that as well. All right, so when you're creating your roof in Cedreo, it's really important that you have a level specifically for your roof. So one of the things that I've seen is people will tell me they have, but my house is only a ranch level. I don't need a second level. Think of the second level not as a second level for your house, but just extra walls for your roof to be able to sit on. That's why you have to have, it's really important to have a second level. So we're going to start off today by drawing, sketching out just a basic rectangular house. Okay, I'm going to add maybe a room here, a bathroom here, and straighten it out. All right, so a couple of things let me show you guys this. One of the things that people don't realize is when you're building out your house, the angles of the corners is extremely important. If you leave the angles kind of crooked, let's say you drew it and it's at 88.35 and people are like, oh, it's fine. But when you're drawing out your roof, that affects how the roof sits on the house. So the easiest way to correct that is by clicking. If you notice, there's a blue dot at the corner. You want to be able to click on this dot, just left click, hold down the left click, and you just move the corner until you see the 90-degree angle. And the same thing applies here. So you want to do that after you build out the house. You want to do that for every single corner that is supposed to be a 90-degree angle. And I'm aware that some corners are a slight curve, some are about 180, some are flatter. I understand that. But for those are supposed to be a 90-degree angle, especially on the exterior, it's important to go around and correct all the corners to make sure they're sitting at a 90-degree angle before you try to apply the roof. All right. Now for our house, we're going to actually add a window. Let's add a sliding folding doors. Let's see that folding. We're going to add this. We're going to add this to the backyard. And then an exterior, add this front door, some windows. Let's put a window or two in the room. A couple of windows out here. It's going to give you some view in the house, right? And there's a reason I'm showing you this. And we're also going to do some interior doors. So let's just add a couple of doors to your bathroom, and there you go. This is an open floor plan, so we're going to divide it up using hidden walls. So that's another thing. When I have another video showing that when you are using an open floor plan to kind of divide the space, dining room versus living room, and so forth, you want to use hidden walls. So we're gonna say this is the living room. This is the dining room, and this is like the kitchen sitting area. Let's change it up in room types. Kitchen, dining room, bathroom, and living room. All right. So now we have a basic one level home with a bathroom, a kitchen area, and so forth, living room area. What we want to do now is we're going to add the roof. If we add the roof on the house, on the level that the house stops at, so for example, this house currently has one level. If we add the roof where level the house stops at, one or two things can happen. Sometimes you're lucky enough to where it's like the roof will automatically sit on the house. But nine out of 10 times, the roof actually collapses the walls because the roof needs support. So the bottom floor walls, if it's only going to be one floor, the roof is using those walls as support. So we go to gable, we do automatic roof, and we add a roof. This is what happens. And this is one of the most common questions that I get. I'm having problems with my roof, Michelle. I put the roof on, but for some reason, all my walls went away. And this is why, because the roof is using your bottom floor for support. Now, some people I've seen will do it this way. And then in the right panel, you can increase the height of your roof to bring it up back to normal. So there's this option. Now this works for a basic house plan, or if you have a detached garage, this works for that as well. But one of two things happens when you do this. The first thing is there is no ceiling. So there's not going to be a ceiling in this. It's going to be more of a vaulted or a cathedral wall. It's not going to be any ceilings. The same thing goes for in the bedrooms as well. See? Now let me collapse these. See, there's no ceiling, and it's all going to be exposed up to the ceiling, to the roof. That's the first thing. Second thing that happens is it's harder to manipulate this type of roof. You kind of have to leave it at the basic roof. But from what we suggest in the software, let's go ahead and add another level specifically for the roof. And you only need it for the exterior walls. So you're going to say add previous floor, and the exterior walls is going to come up. And this is essentially what it's going to look like. And don't panic. I've seen people where people are like, well, I only needed a ranch, Michelle, if I add another level. And a lot of people fight against this. Please do not fight against this. This is exactly how you need to create your roof in Cedreo. And you will see why. Now, if you needed for example, if you needed a ceiling, you want to make sure in here on the first level the top level that you just created, in the right panel, you have your ground and your baseboard selected. You can unselect the baseboard, but that ensures that the ground is going to be between both levels, which on the bottom floor, if you look up, that's going to be your ceiling. If you do not need a ceiling and you still will like the walls in the whole house to be a cathedral or vaulted, you want to just uncheck the ground, and that exposes the bottom floor. So there will be no ceiling between your ground floor and the top, and that's if you want it that way. But if you do want that ceiling, make sure you click here and add your ground on the top floor. And this applies for any level. So for example, if you have a house that's 3 stories and 3 stories are going to be utilized for something, you have a ground floor, you have the middle floor that has bedrooms, and then you have a third floor that maybe is like, a cinema room, something upstairs, right? You're still going to need to add a 4th level specifically for the roof. So that's just kind of give you the rule of thumb is if your last floor is on your house is going to be used for something, with the exception of the attic, and we'll get to that, with the exception of the attic, if your last floor is going to be used for something, you want to add a level for the roof with exterior walls. Because I've seen some people will add, and I'm gonna actually let's do that. I've seen some people add a level. They said, well, Michelle, you told me to add a level, and I went ahead and I added a level. And this is how you know you've added a level. You're still on the first floor, on the top floor, and there's a red trace from the bottom floor layout up. So this tells you that you're on a top level, but you don't have any exterior walls. Now, if you go and add a gable, see people add the gable, let's not do it automatic, and they use these traced layout from the bottom floor on the gable, this is what happens. This is when you get a floating gable. This is when there are no walls to support your roof. So there's no way for it to be enclosed. This is also when the bottom floor walls are going to be shorter than the roof line. So all around, this is not what you want. If anytime you ever see your roof is floating, you have to ask yourself, do you have your roof on the right floor with exterior walls? That is very important, because yes, you went ahead and you added the extra level, but if you forgot to add the exterior walls and then you add the roof, this is what happens. So let's go ahead and delete this roof. And we're going to draw back in our exterior walls. And you notice how I'm staying with the 90-degree angles all throughout, just so it's a seamless, the walls are seamless all throughout. So then when I go and add the roof, but for this roof, we're going to add let's add a smaller gable. Okay. Delete that. Now you see that you have your roof is not collapsed. The walls have not collapsed. The windows are still okay. But if I want you to notice that once we added, so look at the 3D image on the top right. When I delete this roof, the walls are still about 8 feet, 2.5 inches. But when I add the roof back in, the walls adjust exactly to the roof. And that's not just with the gable roof. So let's delete the gable. Let's make it a multi-slope roof. The same thing happens here. All right, let's make it a flat top roof. Same thing happens here. So this is why it's important. And the flat top roof is when people are having more of like a modern style house and they want to create like a balcony upstairs. I've seen this with like townhomes from people that are building townhomes in New York. And they want to build like an outdoor area upstairs. This is the same exact steps you would do to add your flat top roof. And then you can change the materials, in the material step for what the roof will look like. If you want it to be more greenery, if you want it, you can also add trees, in the furnishing step. Just kind of give you an example. Let's do something smaller. So yes, just give you an example. For now, we're going to delete that. So this is the best way. This is how we suggest adding your roof in the software. This is how we would add all 3 types of roof. If you needed to, let's say we have a house that also has a walkway into a garage. So let's create that. Let's create a house from the ground floor that has a walkway. Actually, let's do it from the back. All right. And then we're going to I'm going to open these walls. Okay. So this is the ground floor. And we're going to do a garage. Okay. So when you look at this, you have your main house here, the garage right here, and then this walkway from your house to the garage. It could be a walkway. If you want to make it a true walkway, we're going to open up the walls. And extend the width. All right, so if we're going to make it a true walkway, this is what it'll look like. Now we have people that are saying, okay, Michelle, I have a walkway, I have a house, and I have a garage, but if I add the level already to the garage for the house, and then I add a roof, I don't need another level for the walkway. So then if you were to draw out your gable roof, I have the automatic option, on the walkway from the ground floor, this is what it'll look like. It's going to collapse. And let's do the same thing for the garage. It's going to collapse as well. So even with something like a walkway, you do need to create a level with exterior walls above. So we're going to draw this out. And this is what it's going to look like. Where I have the walls gonna go in. Okay, and then you're going to add your roofs to those areas. So this is how you'll do it. So just always keep in mind, if you have, no matter what structure you are building, except like I said, if it's a detached garage, you can build out the roof, basic roof, and then just raise the height, because then you might not care if you have a ceiling or not. This is also very helpful. In the beginning, I started talking about the attic. This is helpful when you're also building out an attic or a loft space. So when you zoom in here, you notice that the space between the top floor where the roof is and then the bottom floor, that has a ground, which is going to be the ceiling from the bottom. That in that space, which is right here, you can create an attic This is what usually people are able to create an attic. If you need this smaller, go to your roof step and just lower the height of the roof or lower the slope if you need it smaller. And then you can also go to your wall opening step, and we're going to deactivate the roof for now. Select stairwell. And from the top floor down, we're going to add in a wall opening to the attic area. When you go downstairs, you see the green, and upstairs, you see the red. That tells you there's a wall opening for the attic. You can add stairs now starting from the ground floor in the furnishing step. You can do that. We're not going to do that for this example. But once you add the roof back in and go in to your attic, you can now have an opening from downstairs up to your attic area. So this is how you'll create an attic as well. And if for example, if you had it like this and you said, Michelle, I don't need an attic, but I need a loft area where some of the walls are open upstairs and then some are enclosed to kind of have stairs going up that has like an open loft, you could do that as well. So let's remove the stairwell. We're going to go up to your first floor and deactivate the roof. And this is when you use hidden walls once again. So you're going to take the hidden walls, and let's say your loft space is going to be here, this area that says room 1. So you want to make sure this loft space is used. You're blocking it out using hidden walls, and then you can click in there and uncheck make sure the ground and the baseboard are checked. But then here, the other room where it says room 4, click in it and then remove the ground and the baseboard. And you're just going to go in now and you can add railings from the furnishing step. We're not going to add a lot of railings today. I'm just going to add a few. Okay. You can add railings. You can go ahead and add your stairs as well. But to add the stairs, you want to make sure you are on the ground floor. You're adding them on the ground floor. Our plan is very small, so the stairs position, everything might not be practical, but it's for an example. All right. Now you have, let's add the roof back in. And I have it poking out, but we can adjust that. Now you have a loft. You've created a loft area using the hidden walls feature. You have a balcony and you can add items on there like you would on the bottom floor. Okay. So yep, that's pretty much it. Does anybody have any questions? Guess not. All right, thank you so much. And if you have any questions, you can always send me an email at support@cedreo.com. Have a good day.